All right, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to this week in Base Hit, where I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Clone. I'm gonna just look this way, like the
One
Brady
day,
Bunch, and
one
pretend
day
I'm
I'm going to
talking to
be
you.
in the room and it's going to be awesome. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
What's that shirt you got going on there?
It's Bitcoin University.
Oh, Bitcoin University.
It's kind of a cursed shirt. Every time I wear it, Bitcoin goes down, but I decided to wear it today.
Oh, sorry, I brought it up.
Yeah.
This is at least the first week in a while that you haven't worn an MLB piece of clothing to piss me off.
No, not to piss you off. I wore the. Oh yeah, you didn't
The
like the Cubs.
Cubs,
Yeah.
you had I feel like you had something with the Padres. I feel like whatever
Yeah,
else,
I wore a Rockies hat.
the Giants. Yeah. So what does that mean? MLB, how was your MLB week? Real quick.
It was all right. I mean, we took two or three from the White Sox. That was uh good. I saw the Dodgers like just really beat up on the Marlins, so
They needed
like
to.
it historically bad.
They needed that
What was
because
it? How bad was it?
all their pitchers are getting, huh?
How bad was it?
Well, they hadn't been hitting all season. I mean, I can't remember how many runs they scored in the series. It was like
They had one
over
game it was
30, definitely.
15-2, right?
Yeah, one of them. And both teams had a position player pitch. I don't know how often that's happened. Um, I know a
I
couple
mean,
years
it
ago,
happens more now.
does it?
Yeah,
Because everybody knows not to tire out there. Yeah.
yeah, they don't want to waste anybody.
Um, but it was good. Yeah, they hadn't been hitting. I will say, I sent you this stat, and I think you think it's sacrilege, but not. They might still have the lowest number or the highest number of relief innings in the league.
Mm.
Um, and I thought that was interesting that, just our old time expectation, but they were like at the bottom, and the Mets were at the bottom in quality starts, and at the top in wins. So I feel like, starting pitching is not what it used to be, and that's all right. I mean,
It's
I don't mind it, but
the Dodgers set a record last year for most different starting pitchers, and this year the Brewers are way ahead of the pace of the
really,
Dodgers. Yeah, they right now of their five projected starting pitchers, four of them were on the IL, and they've gone through 11 different starting pitchers so far. They're about to have their 12th because Brandon Woodruff is coming back. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like, yeah, MLB is in a real pickle on that one because, like, and I talk about this all the time, but when you think about what MLB wants, they want faster games, they want stars, and like having nine pitchers for 9 innings is just bad for baseball. It's good for run
but it's
suppression,
two.
but that's it.
I didn't mean to talk about this much, but it's two different things you're talking about though, because I don't know. I mean,
It's
aren't they
good
gonna get if you
strategically.
leave the guys in, if you want to prioritize starting pitching, then and leave those guys in longer, you don't think that it's going to have even more impact on injuries?
Yeah.
So then you could either just get around to the idea that guys aren't going to pitch as much, and you're going to have relievers be a bigger part of the game, or if you're going the other direction, doesn't matter. Doesn't
I mean,
matter.
it also impacts, it potentially
Yeah,
impacts the owners too, because now you're going to have to expand the rosters. You're going to have to pay millions of dollars to more players. I don't know. That's why I said it's a pickle. Like, because what you're
yeah.
saying is not wrong at all. It's just, and, but then it also comes back to like, why are all these guys getting hurt? Like, why didn't Don Sutton and Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan and like every pitcher that pitched 300 innings
Yeah, and I
every
don't know.
year get hurt as much as every pitcher gets hurt now?
But I mean,
And
isn't it just
it's a
supposed to
rhetorical
throw the
question.
gas? You're supposed to throw the gas as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm saying it's a rhetorical question because like I think we know some of the answers, but like I don't think MLB wants to address some of that because they could have a speed limit to pitches. Like anything over 96 miles an hour is a ball. Like
Crazy.
but that
That'd be
gets
crazy.
into the same place that the NFL got into with big hits. They don't want to get rid of big hits, but they were causing CTE. So eventually they had to like nerf the quarterback hits. They had
Yeah.
to nerf defensive player hits. And then, is it still football? Yeah, we got over it pretty quick. But you put a speed limit on pitches, like that would fix a lot, probably.
That sounds crazy to me, but
But at the same time, Nolan Ryan threw 96 plus his entire career. So like there's lots of guys that were throwing gas that didn't get hurt. What's different about what they're doing now is I think they're putting a different level of torque on their arm that probably but also, what do relievers do if they come in for 1 inning? They throw as hard as they can for 1 inning as opposed to trying to space it out for.
yep.
Oh, and the last thing I forgot to mention, there's three things, and baseball wants scoring. And the best way to increase scoring is to have a pitcher go into that third rotation of
We could
because
talk about this all
it'll,
day because, but
it'll increase
then, yeah,
scoring.
mathematically, I mean, statistically, when you go the third time around, they're going to hit you better.
That's what I'm saying. It increases scoring.
Yeah. So you're saying, I
That
mean,
MLB wants that.
yeah. So then they would force people into staying out there. Yeah, I don't know. I
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
they have a proposal on the table for starting pitchers to be kind of like they got rid of the specialty pitchers by saying you had to hit three batters. And
I like the three batter rule.
yeah, it got
I don't know why. Yeah, God, I said we were going to talk about this a little bit,
okay.
but
All right, we'll
I'm
talk.
really liking I really like, as someone that has thrown myself back into watching stuff, I like all the rules changes they've made. Some of them would have seemed really sacrilegious back in the day.
Like the
And then when
second, a
and then
ghost
when you
runner on
talk about
second.
other ones, I'm like, oh no, those are all fucking terrible.
Yeah, 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 totally. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, totally. The
so,
runner on second in extra innings seems so crazy to me that they could have only got away with that because of COVID.
yeah, but
But now it's like, oh no, I'm glad games don't have a chance to go to the 17th inning. I don't need this shit. I got other stuff to do, especially for you as a Dodgers
use up
fan
all your
on
pitcher. I
the
mean,
East
use up all
Coast.
the pitchers.
You're
Yeah.
you're watching these games at like 12:30. You don't need to be staying up till 2 in the morning for a 14 inning game.
I mean, the one extra inning game. We're gonna have to have two podcasts this week. One extra inning games the Dodgers went into. I think I said this. We could just talk about it. They had already used seven pitchers or whatever, and uh,
Then they hit extras.
what's his face? Sanders Scott was not able to close it out, so then they pretty much just gave up and they threw in like not exactly scrub, but for the 10th
Tommy
inning,
Edman.
threw in. No, it was I can't, the Davis who came up, who's not particularly good, and I think I said the inning started. And I was like, all right, I'll be right back up. I went downstairs to get
Oh
water.
yeah, and then
Before I even had water in my cup,
first pitch.
my phone said, game over. Anyway. All
Yeah.
right.
All
All
right.
right, that was fun.
Tournament
Uh,
champions. So
Tournament champions, tournaments in general. People are gonna hear us talking about this a lot.
it's the launch of the contest. So we're launching with a special contest. And for those of you not in it, please understand though, this is the first time we're doing this. So we're also trying to contain the amount of people, and this was a good way to do it, just so that we could, launch this in a way that we could make sure that it's the interface is intuitive, it's all working like we think it's going to, and then launch the contest weekly forever and ever. Amen. That everybody gets to participate in.
in the next few weeks. In the next few weeks is the
Yep.
plan. And make sure everything's running smoothly, start getting everybody's feedback. And so far,
So far, so good.
we announced the TSC stuff. I think I put it out Wednesday. So far, everything's going well. We've got a bunch of signups, and we got a week to go. I'm going to be re-pinging people. If you have not yet registered,
Do
uh,
it.
do it. Uh,
Do it.
we told people not to finalize their team until they're good and ready, but you can register whenever
I finalized my team.
ready. Uh, and I did not finalize my team because I am not in it. And that shows how fair I am. No, I think I said to somebody, I had decided I was going to put the top 100 ranked people on that one sheet, um, in the one table for people to find. And then when I did it, I was 101. So
Oh, were you really?
I was the first person that was left off. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so you expanded it to 102,
Oh, no,
just so
no.
you
But
also weren't last on the list.
yeah. But if people do have questions, I've tried to put everything out there. Please contact us. People have been contacting me. It's been really helpful. But otherwise, so far, it's going smooth. Um, I did think you and I talked about maybe talking about some tips.
Yeah, just some if I can jump in. Yeah, just some tips on like because ultimately this the games that are the sim engine's exactly the same. So if you play base hit, you're playing base hit, but there are some unique things about how this contest is designed that you should take into consideration while you're building your team.
Yeah,
And
both.
oh,
It's the same. Yeah, we're building hopefully a very new game format that will be unique and make you do different things, but also on top of the exact same sim engine that you are used to. So
yeah.
easy to
So
work.
like and it's a salary cap game, and obviously it's not a dynasty game, so you're playing just in that season. So you're just trying to build the perfect team for that one type contest. And I think the first noticeable thing, and we mentioned on the last podcast, is that there's um, the homogeneous nature of the positions. I'm trying to put in big words because we used big words earlier. Uh,
You were gonna use CBT's word, but we haven't
yeah,
figured
but I
it
forgot it, so I used a different one. But like uh, you have to play a catcher at catcher. You have to play a right fielder at right field.
That
Uh,
one is the one people ask about.
yeah,
You got to choose somebody for each position, and yes,
you
including
can't
left
switch
field,
right
right
fielders,
field.
left fielders,
Yep.
and that's why that's part of the interesting nature of this contest because not only is it a salary cap game, but you have to make an individual decision with each one of these positions. And then you will have an opportunity to add some bench players, and those bench players can fill in at different positions, but your starting lineup has to be
Yep.
locked into those positions.
I think everybody is figuring this out, but yeah, that's a big difference. Going back to you talking about the sim engine, and I hadn't written this, and I need to put it out somewhere, but there's no normalization, so just my understanding of normalization, because I don't even fully understand, but generally all leagues perform the same kind of
In the aggregate
in the aggregate.
because
So
because they're trying to get to numbers that match the eras that they're designed
yeah.
to be part of. Yeah.
So if everybody in your league has 100 slugging, they're all going to be average. Like if your averages are way out of whack, they kind of
Yeah.
and in this in the contest, there's no normalization, so the ratings are the ratings are the ratings. Um, it's it's a minor change for most of us, but if you're someone that like knows the ins and outs of the
Yeah.
games, maybe that'll stick out.
Most people will not notice that.
There's no season fatigue in these leagues, so it's a short season. It's 54 games over 60 days. Uh, there's people are gonna fatigue normally in the games, but there's no like additional fatigue that's gonna be happening. If that's something you want to factor in, I'm just trying to
And
get rid
this
of
the
all the things.
schedule is set too. So it's 9 games on, day off, 9 games on, day off. And so like while you're building that into your team, take your ENs into account. And this contest, at least for the first part, I don't know how you have set up for the second part. You have to have a 5-man rotation. Different contests will be different though. But that's why each one of these contests, it'll be really important to read the rule set because they all effectively become like their own different contests and force you to make different decisions to maximize the effect.
Yep. I Yep. Yep. I am very curious to see how people figure out how to play it. I don't know. I know that I know that you're going to need some relievers. I know you're going to need some bench. Maybe not. Who knows? But I haven't looked at it in terms of. I mean, there's no playoffs to factor in, so that's something else to
Oh,
consider.
that I'm glad you brought that up.
You're just playing the season. You're not going to be able to change your rotation through it. So all your pitchers are going to be pitching the same. Your fifth pitcher will pitch one less game, but needing to have solid pitching across. But I don't know about how to. Oh, I would. My one tip I would give is pick your pitchers first. I think that's what I did as I've tried it out. Picked my pitchers first and then went from there. Because when I first started out and I was starting like, okay, I'm putting a catcher in. Okay, I'm putting in a. I don't have any money left. Why did I start with my catcher?
Yeah. I just built my team for Tournament of Champions, and I found that I started with my starting pitchers, and then I went over to the lineup and I was like, I better look at shortstops first. And then I did that. But the funny thing is like all while all that's logical, I got to the place where the salary got so tight that all of a sudden I went back and I had to go through my starting pitchers again,
Yeah.
and just so I could build a relief staff because I ran out of money a lot quicker than I anticipated. And then, I put two people on the bench, leave the rest blank. If you leave anything blank, it automatically gives you a $0 scrub. So be careful, but also like that can be a strategy. Like some people might leave their long reliever empty or something like that. You can do that, but then you have to deal with that person being there the whole time. So I don't know. You
Per
just gotta.
day. So just a reminder that because we've talked about it, when you finalize your team, that's your roster. Those guys going on your team all week, but then every day you'll be able to switch around your
Yeah, you
lineup,
could
switch around your
amend your
pitching
line.
rotations and stuff like that. Not during the day. So
Yep.
once the games start, you're locked in for that round. But yeah, but the players that are your players are your players, your players, your players. So
And
um,
I would also encourage people to remember in how this contest is set up. You're playing three computer generated teams that you'll be able to look at. I would suggest that you scout them. And not that you're going to build your team around them, but you might notice some things you could potentially take advantage of. But also, keep in mind that since you're only going to be making these changes once a day, make sure that you have it set up in a way that it can auto run because like you're not making any manual changes during that. Um, I
you can build in some flexibility in your team so you can adjust. I mean, that's my hope
I
that
was
I
just
will
gonna
get
say
you into
that.
that point.
Yeah, because like I had to really take a look is like I realized like I was taking best available players and I had a bunch of lefties in my lineup and I was like, okay, I got to give this some thought here if I'm going to platoon anybody or if I have the ability to throw a bench guy on that could play, one of those like beautiful bench guys that has enough range that he can play at eight positions or something. It's tough. And then and then make sure that you set your depth chart. Take a look at your stadium, see if you want to make changes there, and set your manager settings. Like I think some people might forget to do those and regret it. And so, like, make sure you give that some thought. But going back to the point that you made before, is when you're setting this team, so many of us that have played the dynasty game for a long time try to build a team that can just get to the playoffs, but that's designed for the playoffs. Having that 147 starter, your two aces, like that's forget all that. This is a regular season game essentially. So, you need to design it for the 54 games that you're going to be playing during this
My
run.
my plan, although I'm not in this one, is CBT built in. We've got the you can download if you haven't noticed at the bottom of the player list, you can download the CSV with all the players, and that's my plan. Just like I do with the draft list a bunch, is to
I didn't do that.
pull,
I
pull the
forgot.
players off into a spreadsheet and then do my tinkering there. I
I
haven't
should have
done it
done
yet
that.
though, but that's something to try.
I
Uh,
should have done that.
we were talking about salary. That was one thing we hadn't mentioned, but people might notice that the salary. salary formula is different than in the game. Because there's
There's no
no
aging or
experience,
experience.
there's no age, yeah, everything else. So that stuff's not in there, and we adapted it to try to you know, to make some sense. That really high range guys in important positions are gonna cost a ton. What else do we do?
EN for pitchers.
And matters, left-handed, right-handed matters. All there's all kinds of different
Yeah.
tweaks to the salary format from the regular game that you might notice.
Or maybe not. Because like even when you say that stuff, like I've played the game for 20 years, I've never really noticed how much other than EN, like I can tell, but um
I think that shortstops are going to be more expensive than they normally are. Maybe not. Who knows?
maybe, yeah, I don't know. Um
In the regular game, you've got overalls and development numbers and potentials and age, but then you've also got your linear weights from how the pitcher's been playing,
performing.
and these people do not have any stats, so that's not part of it. Um, and that's gonna adjust too. We've got a system that we like that we put out there, but we're gonna be watching to see the market and see how the game gets played. And I know we're gonna be making lots of tweaks, I'm sure. Um, so it's cool.
Yep.
Any other tips you want to give to people?
I don't
If
know.
they haven't made their team, some people are already locked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Um yeah, I don't no, I think, also this is gonna be people's first exposure to what like the game wide UI is going to look like outside of just the free agency page. And I mean everybody I've talked to really likes it. This will be what eventually the lineups page looks like permanently. It's very, easy to use. I think it's pretty intuitive, but it's just, the start of where the game is headed.
yes,
So would appreciate, I guess, as a tip, I would appreciate any meaningful feedback you have on how it's used or how it is intuitive or lack thereof, because we want to keep iterating on that.
you don't want the non-meaningful
No,
feedback.
I don't want, I don't want,
You could
I
just
don't
say nice things. If you want to say
say
nice
that.
things, that would be great. We could pass them on. Uh, for the people that aren't in the TOC yet, so this is happening. This is actually cranking up on the 12th. There's the ring. This is cranking up on the 12th. We've got it's 3 weeks, but the hope, and we'll see how it works. The third week is we're gonna have an open contest for everybody by then. So before the end of May, you're gonna have a contest. So there's gonna be some things to learn. We're trying to be good with the stats in this to make it interesting. So you'll be able to see how often a player gets picked and how successful teams are
That have that player,
to have that player. So there'll be some information to get out of that.
that
But
would be
also,
pretty cool.
um, also, if you haven't got an invite yet, you still might get an invite because I'm sure there's some people that might not get registered, and towards the end of this registration period, I'm going to send out another batch of invites for the open spots. So, and I'll send some reminders to people, but be ready because you might get the call up in a week to join us. And then but I hope all 64 sign up. I
Yep.
don't expect that's going to really happen in real life, but
Winner of Tournament Champions getting cash money from me too. $250 to the winner.
yeah,
Unless it's me, and then whoever's next gets the $250. But I'm keeping that ring. I'm
that
fighting.
was
You're gonna have to beat me because I'm trying so hard. I don't want to be the owner of this game and not eventually win a Tournament Champions. I'm hoping it's this year.
I think we've got icons on there to say when the employees are playing. We're some of the biggest players of the game. We're playing the contest, but the we where the prize money's going out to somebody else no matter what. Um, and hopefully you will have fun trying to beat us.
Never
But yeah,
gonna.
we decided that ring is open for anybody. So
Yep. Yep.
see what happens.
Oh, I want to win so bad. I have my Blast from the Past plaque right there. You can't really see it from here, but pretty proud of that for the
Uh,
TCL Blast from the Past.
very cool.
Yep.
Um, anyway, keep getting your stuff in. Give us feedback. Give us questions. Going good
Compete.
so far.
Get in there. Tournament champions, last two winners, Cymatics and Christo. You could be the third, but you got to beat me.
Both
I'm not going
both
to make
those
it
guys.
easy.
Both those guys are in this one too. Cy and Christo are in this. All the big. There's a bunch of big hitters, bunch of names that I do not know. I've gotten to know a lot of names over time, but there's some people that you might not know, which I think is one of the fun parts of TOC. People that
Uh,
aren't in your leagues.
I mentioned him before, but the DK161, is that his name? The numbers, I get the numbers confused, but I like that guy. He competes in a lot of leagues and he's always competitive. I don't know if he watches the podcast, but I hope he gets in there and get his team finalized because he deserves to be there. He's putting in more effort than almost anybody. So I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Yep. Uh,
But I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat y'all.
uh, anyway,
Gonna
we're excited. We put a lot of work into this. It's gonna be this new format to give people a different way to play the game. I think it's gonna help
the
when get new
biggest
people
expansion
coming
of
in
the
to play the
biggest
game.
expansion of the game in 25 years. It really is. It's a whole new game mode. We've never done anything like that. A permanent expansion of the game.
Yeah, when you just put it that way.
Crazy.
Pretty cool. So
Yep,
even if you're not in this one, it's coming up
coming
soon. And
in perpetuity.
uh, thanks for listening to us blab on
Yep.
about it.
And I guess one last thing is like every contest will be a little bit different. So we're going to be trying different things, using different rule sets, different eras, different, any lever we have, we're going to be trying different things. That'll be the fun of it, because also it'll help all of you learn some of the nuances of the different things, and maybe you take that back to your dynasty leagues or whatever. Maybe you just screw around with it, but it'll
That's
be cool.
the I keep acting like we're leaving, but you give me other things to talk about. That's part of the appeal of this to me too, is that dynasty game. There, I play it a certain way, and over times I've played it different ways, but I like the fact that I could go different directions in the contest and try stuff out that I couldn't normally because I don't have to wait for draft a whole list of
Month,
draft
yeah.
picks to switch out my team and don't have to wait to win guys in free agency. You have total control of it. So you can I just think I think people are going to learn in
So
tournaments
much.
people are going to learn about the dynasty game.
I
So
mean, the beginning, middle, and end is all happening inside of the same week. And
yeah.
so, like, where the dynasty game literally is a dynasty over a long period of time, these will be quick hits. Um, yeah. And you get a draft every single week. What's better than that? It's going to be awesome. I think honestly, it will be a central point to the game. And hopefully a lot of those people that, uh, have less time will be able to play more contests. It'll be good.
We'll be reaching out. We'll be reaching out to some old names to see who we can get back in here.
Yep.
Nonsense.
I'm gonna
All
put my
right, man.
finger in the ring right. I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't work. Damn it. All right.
Right, this was going to be a short one. I don't think we
We
even know
did
how
not
to
accomplish
do
that.
25 minutes anymore, but
Yeah. All right. That's it. That's it. Contests are coming. Tournament Champions kicks it off May 11th, something like that. Um, was that the right date?
May 12th.
May 12th. May 12th. Sign up. Be there. See you soon. That's this week in Base Hit. Till next week. I'm going to say more things. Blab on. All right. I'm done.